His dry, hacking cough is getting worse by the second. He has trouble catching his breath. His fingernails are blue. Looks like he's having an asthma attack.
Quickly, do something! I think this man is suffocating. We must help him.
Can I ask you a question?
I've nothing to tell you.
May I ask you something?
I don't answer questions by your sort.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing? Wow, that's a lot of food for the poor.
The gang might. Different sizes, different colours. Some clothes are new.
I think this man is suffocating. We must help him. Look, here's some medicine. Could be useful.
Acetylsalicylic acid. Useless. A strong painkiller, but it won't help with asthma. Aha! Ether. That can stop the asthma attack. Such insanitary conditions. Horrific.
They even keep medical records. Impressive for a gang.
These instruments are of inferior quality, but in capable hands they can save lives.
I'd be dead by now if not for the righteous.
God bless you, young man.
Phew, that was close. But you saved him, Sherlock.
God bless you, young man.
Help me, please.
No, sorry, I know nothing.
The boss has a lot of work on his plate.
That's far enough, little one. The boss is busy.
But I need to speak to him. It's urgent.
I'm sure it is. Look, there's going to be a fight in the arena today. So unless this building's on fire, it will have to wait.
What do you mean, a fight in the arena?
You're new around here, aren't you? The cretins who killed the priest will face trial by combat in the arena of justice. That's what you get for breaking the law. The boss didn't create it for nothing.
It's vitally important. Let me in, please.
You think the magic word will do the trick? No.
All right, I'm leaving.
The boss has a lot of work on his... The boss...
I said the boss is busy. Stop testing my patience.
I hear the gang is looking for new members. I'd like to join you.
There's not enough meat on you. We've no use for a scrawny weakling.
I'm not scrawny, I'm just thin-boned. Besides, I know my way around a gun better than anyone in your gang, I'd wager.
You've got some nerve. See those bottles over there? Go on, shoot them. Show me how good you are. Make yourself useful after all. Go on in then.
Hey, didn't I ask not to be disturbed? What's with the shooting out there?
Sorry about the bother. Your guard took a little convincing to let me in. Not to worry, though. Everything's fine, except for a few broken bottles.
Then what do you want with the righteous? Spit it out, I haven't got all day.
I'm here to talk to you about the murder of Father Alexandra.
Oh, that. Nasty business. Those responsible will soon be brought to justice.
Killing the priest doesn't strike me as very righteous. Why did they do it?
Every tree has a few rotten apples, doesn't it? They caught him stealing from our ladders. But there was no need for bloodshed. I gave no such orders. Alexandro might not have been one of us, but we were fighting a common enemy.
This enemy being who, exactly?
Not who. What? Poverty, inequality, and justice. We follow our law just as Alexandro followed his God's commandments.
What do you mean by justice? I doubt that you're planning to turn them into the police.
Of course I'm not. They will receive their punishment in the arena of justice.
So you're going to kill them just like that?
Watch your mouth, boy. I'm not a murderer. They brought it upon themselves. The law applies to all.
The murderers must be arrested, not lynched. Let me take them to prison.
Do you have some guts to barge in here and make demands? I don't know you, boy, and I don't care why you want to save their hides. But that is not happening.
Listen, I want them to pay for what they've done, but making them fight for their lives is savagery.
Savagery? So you think rotting in a cave, suffering daily beatings from the pigs, only to be eventually hanged and dumped in a gutter is better? You say you want justice? Fine, go down and fight. Let the arena decide. Whatever you do to them, or they do to you, will be just. That's my only offer. Take it, or get the hell out.
All right, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty to see criminals behind bars.
If you make it out alive, I won't stop you. Don't assume they'll go down easily, though. They'll take their chances and give you no quarter.
Don't bother moving. You've lost. Don't cry, you'll live. Don't.
The snuff's ready. Can overcome the brute now.
Take! I'm coming for you. Ow! Dodge this!
Give him the pepper snuff.
Terribly sorry. Take a rest, my friend. Too simple.
Excuse me.
Oh! Not that easy! I missed the party.
Time to knock this guy out.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take a.
The snuff's ready.
Today, justice is on your side, boy. I give you my word, and I'll keep it. My men will deliver the murderers to the police. You think you've saved their lives, eh? But for how long? The prison is unforgiving. And unlike here, their hands will be tied.
I fail to see your logic, sir. What I do know is that I'm no judge or executioner, and neither are you. Goodbye.
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific! I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry? Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
A simplistic attempt at provocation.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Old, and hasn't been used for a long time. Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5. true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mould-ridden. One presumes deliberately. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. A Malpal butt. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache. The parasites of creativity, or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Saturn devouring his sun. Grim composition.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room, but the vandalism was a cover for the theft. The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Extravagant paintings have been left to rot in a basement. A commentary on decay and the crumbling of society, correct?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, I have confirmed that the intruder was an average-sized, flexible Malpal smoker with a limp. As it happens, the vandalism was a cover. The true intent was to steal a painting without your knowledge. The fact is, one of the pieces from the Wild Room is not in the wreckage.
What? That is extraordinary.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My. Your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman wrapped in ropes being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Treasure maps from the governor. Find 8 and come back for more.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
Nice
Don't miss
affordable
out on the
clothes.
best
Let's pick
carpets on the
something that
island.
suits. Don't leave. Take one more look. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed. Don't miss out. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Oriental rug. At a good price.
Seni görmek.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah, old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, ma'am? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago, and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. Could be the murder weapon. Could be the murder weapon. A normal kitchen knife. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. It appears the wine was truly awful. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called Expressionism.
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched. Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting. Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. 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 You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. Nothing behind it. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? Nothing behind it. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Verda's description of the stolen painting. The chest has been searched.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favour?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
Are you able to help me?
I don't want to talk to you, mister.
Can I ask you a question?
You are a stranger. I don't talk to strangers.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Mother says we should help each other, but I can't help you with this.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing?
May I ask for your assistance?
Nah, never had nothing.
Excuse me, just one question.
You and I are the economic foundation of this island. We should help each other. But I don't know what you are talking about.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Could you help me?
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I don't know about that.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Oh, I've heard talk.
Beasts!
Murderers!
Completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Can I ask you a question?
I'd help you, friend, but I know nothing.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
Are the police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Murder! Beasts!
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
What a pleasant man this Mr. Chooks. Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Clearly a left handprint here. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
If they find out about the passage, everything. If they find out about the passage? Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly. Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
A man's footprint. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence. Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death. I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. Someone was dragged against their will. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Are these the rations the refugees get from the authorities? How do people even survive out here? We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
Roadman cigarettes, a brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. A single Malpal butt. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
Back off.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
May I ask you something?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
That will kill, not save him. It won't do any good. I'll use it to create a solution. Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. I've collated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Can I ask you a question?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Can I ask you a question?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Time to check your who, what and what, Sherry. Who are you asking, about what and dressed as what?
You still here? Don't bother someone else with this, son. Don't bother someone else with this, son. Your problem, not mine.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Beasts!
Are you able to help me?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Is this familiar to you?
I can't help you, friend. Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing?
Murder!
May I ask you something?
It's funny when someone like you asks someone like me for help.
May I ask for your assistance?
No one listens to us, so why should I listen to you? Oof, bad.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Could you help me?
You know nothing of life. Deal with it by yourself.
Can I ask you a question?
If you ask that again, I'll find where you live and break your windows.
Could you help me?
I would like to help a companion in misfortune, but I know nothing about this.
Help me, please.
What makes you think I can be of help to you?
Time to check your who. What and what?
Can I ask you a question?
Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
No, brother. That's out of my knowledge.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Excuse me, just one question.
It isn't possible for me to help you, I'm sorry.
Are you able to help me?
I'm telling you nothing.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherry. You sure you know what you're doing?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Help me, please.
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others. Help me, please. Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Back off.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.